So why should you republish? Well, it can be a huge time saver. Hello and welcome to another episode of Giant Tea Time SEO, because this happens to be the only tea mugs we have at Studiohawk now, and I'm not quite sure why. Today, we're talking about repurposing content. So repurposing content, also known as content recycling, is the practice of reusing all or elements of existing content in order to expand that content's reach. Now, repurposed content is typically transformed into a new format. For example, I might change a previous blog post into a tea time like this, a little sneaky one just like that. So why should you republish? Well, it can be a huge time saver. If you already have some content that needs improvements, or in other words, you don't need to write every post, shoot every video, and design every infographic from scratch. So instead, you can basically use a piece of new content as the basis for posts, videos, social media, webinars, and more. So another cool thing about content recycling is it allows your content to get in front of a completely new audience. So how do you do it? Well, firstly, you need to build the list of your content that you want to repurpose. So you might have a few years worth of content, then maybe it's worth repurposing that's had some good middle ground views on your website. So looking at your analytics to see what people are really going for. So if you're new to this, don't repurpose your top pages as well, as you don't want to lose that traffic. That mid-range is what you're really after. Go for something that maybe did okay, but didn't get a lot of hits. This happens to me all the time. Sometimes the articles that I'm just like, man, this article is killer. Just doesn't land for whatever reason. And sometimes articles that I push out in an afternoon go gangbusters. So try and find those ones that you think are a little bit underrated and maybe repurpose them. Maybe it's a different medium that's going to get better results. So it's also maybe that search terms have changed since you published it, or maybe the information is simply out of date. So step one, once you've got your list, the next thing we need to do is fire up SEMrush. So we want to basically show the kind of keyword research that we can see. So for example, I might look at optimizing images on a WordPress website. Then I can look through some of the SEMrush data for that keyword, see where my positions are, what the volume is, what the trend. So step two, you want to check out the content that's outranking you for this keyword, right? What is in front of me, and also visit those pages and understand why it might be outranking you. Is it backlinks? Is it just better content? And step three, skyscraper them. So find out what users really want from these search terms and give it to them. So the disclaimer here obviously is if you've got a domain authority score that's a lot lower than the people ranking at the top, you can't expect to beat them immediately. So you may need to focus on building some backlinks. But for a lot of you guys, there's a lot of benefit to repurposing content, and I want you to build a list. It'll only take you a couple minutes in the time you're boiling your kettle, doing a cup of tea. Hopefully it's not as ginormous as this, and that way you can come out and come with some fresh content to bring to your audience that doesn't take you hours and hours to make. And that's it for this tea time. So hopefully I'll see you around in the next one. Cheers.